I never paid much attention to store rules. Who actually reads those giant notices at the entrance? But after that night, I always do. It was around 11:30 p.m. when I stopped by Walmart to grab a few things. The place was eerily quiet, with only a handful of customers scattered through the aisles. I grabbed a cart and started walking when I noticed something strange. There was a folded piece of paper inside the cart. I picked it up and saw that it was an old, yellowed sheet written in shaky handwriting. "Before you shop, read the rules. Do not ignore them." Weird, but I figured it was just a prank. I kept walking toward the checkout area when I noticed a large bulletin board near the exit. A sheet of paper was pinned there, printed in small letters under the title, "Rules for Customers." As I read them, a chill ran down my spine. Rule number 1. If you hear shopping carts moving on their own, do not look. Keep walking and pretend you didn't notice. Rule number 2. If an employee offers you a special product, politely decline. They don't sell those to humans. Rule number 3. If you hear your name over the loudspeakers, ignore it. We never call customers by name. Rule number 4. If you find an aisle that wasn't there before, do not enter. You may not come back. Rule number 5. Never purchase anything without a barcode. Those items belong to someone or something. Rule number 6. If you notice the same employee in multiple places at once, leave Walmart immediately. I sighed and rubbed my face. This had to be a joke. And then, the metallic sound of a shopping cart rolling echoed through the aisle. I froze. Rule number 1. I refused to look, pretended not to notice. I kept walking. The sound got louder, then another, then another. I forced myself to keep my eyes on the products on the shelves, even when I felt something cold brush against my arm. I passed by the dairy section and grabbed a carton of milk, but as soon as I looked at it, there was no barcode. My heart pounded. I put the milk back and walked to the self-checkout. I grabbed a pack of gum and scanned it. Purchase approved. I let out a relieved breath and headed for the exit. But as soon as I stepped outside, everything went dark. I blinked, confused. Where was the parking lot? My car? The street? I looked around and saw only empty shelves. Walmart was dark, abandoned, and worse, I was no longer alone. At the back of the store, near the registers, something moved. People. But not normal people. They were customers, but they were faded, like empty shadows wandering through the deserted aisles. One of them slowly turned its head toward me. Its face had no features, no mouth, no eyes, just smooth, blank skin. It started walking toward me, then another, and another, until they were all coming in my direction. I felt my stomach drop, and that's when I saw it. On the wall, there was another bulletin board. Pinned to it was a yellowed sheet of paper written in the same shaky handwriting. I stepped closer, my heart hammering in my chest. The sheet was identical to the one I had seen before, but now, the rules were different. Rules for employees. Rule number 1. If you hear a customer calling for help, ignore them. They're not supposed to be here. Rule number 2. If a shopping cart moves on its own, step away. The customer still hasn't learned the rules. Rule number 3. If a customer tries to leave the store, stop them. They belong here now. Rule number 4. If you find a new aisle, protect it. Some customers try to escape through there. Rule number 5. Never let a customer buy something without a barcode. They might be trying to return to the other side. Rule number 6. If a customer recognizes you as an employee, they can no longer leave. My breath hitched. I slowly turned to look at my reflection in one of the store's mirrors. I was wearing a Walmart uniform, and behind me, the faceless customers were getting closer. That's when I understood. I was no longer a customer. I was an employee now, and my job was to make sure no one else left.